They have played 2 games yesterday, where Lats have won 2-0, and then today they have already played 1 game streamed by Wim, which has been won, by BrT, and right now it's game number 4, and BrTs have to win on Sacred Pond RTSL. That's going to be a repeat of the last map that have decided. Also, the match between TSM and AOL just like an hour earlier. So right now we have a look at Ayak at the very bottom, who is playing on the side, it seems, for Lats and moving his oracles in the expected fashion on the right side to have a look what's happening there. Well, and otherwise he should be seeing Hunt inside his base. Yes, he does. A lot of gazelles together with some extra berries, and also sending a Willy to the pond here. And it seems like just in the occurrence between TSM and Lat and TSM and AOL, all 6 players are going for the water here. So he has just destroyed all those nice flowers, not exactly sure how they're called in English, but anyway, he went for it, and Valkyrie has went for Granary here, and has he went for hunting dogs? No, he hasn't. It would be pretty stupid on the water anyway, but well, you never know. It's a special map that's not played all that often. Maybe some special strategy could be used. Just some diversion on the water with docks and the fishing boats, and well, probably this is going to result into yet another huge battle on the water. So the third player to have a look at from Lats is 9 Racing Cat, the very feared Kronos, again playing him, already gathering from the left side of the hand here, and otherwise just Goat getting back inside his base, and already Oracle doing pretty good scouting here and finding yet another relic. So 20% or plus 20 villager food carrying capacity, which is pretty great, but not for Eti. It would be just a goal to actually keep it from opponent's hands or help your teammates. Possibly that could help, and a very nice scouting by Superafim, who has just right now discovered what's going on here. So the construction has been cast by Nyan, so he was the red player, so that was somewhere here. Yeah, that was Superafim, that was the Zeus player who has been denied the proper water economy, and yes, this is the strength of Kronos on any water map. So right now Suprafim will be slightly slowed, and he's playing on the right side. He will be having a proper battle with 9 Racing Cat and have an opportunity to reply in kind with all this. And well, just going to check if maybe he hasn't switched into anything. No, he hasn't. But this is slightly unfortunate for 9 Racing Cat, who has just lost one of those oracles. So yep, that's not going to go all that well, and no valor for you to be all that successful in dealing with the dogs. Otherwise, we just move into the bucket of BRTs, which is Seattle right now, playing also Kronos, which is also pretty important. And has he used this deconstruction already? Yes, he has. So some of the guys on the other side from the Lats has already had their docks reconstructed as well. I'm not exactly sure who it was, but yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm pretty sure it was probably a Zeus, as we see almost a mirror. Well, quite a lot almost. Looking how there's the difference of Oranos contra Zeus. And it seems like that Lats are trying to take it by force here, by double Zeus together with some Kronos. And well, Seattle right now doing pretty well, already having scattered his hunting all across the map, and he should be maybe aiming for some advance. You see another dead Oracle for 9 Racing Cat, so he has already lost 2 Oracles. So he's having just one, which is absolutely very bad for him. Well, that's a bad start if I ever saw one as a Kronos, and he is having a tempo up, so we are at 330 almost. So he might be attempting to advance pretty soon. So far I don't really see any complaints about luck, so we might be seeing the full extent of the game, which is very welcome news indeed. Leonardo playing his Zeus, with which he is pretty great, but he needs to move his Willy somewhere. Right now switching into upgrading into Hermes, and otherwise pretty much okay, going for extra wood, and will be advancing at like 440, which is kinda okay. Ayach is on the other hand, as his opponent on this side, scouting quite nicely, having seen where the extra gazelles and extra giraffes are if he needs to, and having discovered also extra relic with cold trickle, which might help anybody on this map. Some extra hunt on the right side, so this hunt could probably be Ajax, which is not cool, but these two allies, they are super cool. So 65% into Prometheus for Ajax already. Another advance is nothing for Kill You Die, he's going for it very slowly. Right now having 13 willies at food here. 2 dogs. Ah, he built temple here, so that's really an interesting placement, just making use of this villager probably. But anyway, right now clicking into Hermes, but he will be seriously slow, like 5 minutes. Look at how players are already advancing, 4 of them. That's really going to be super slow. Who isn't advanced? Him and Superafim. So let's look at him. And he's through Athena, and I think that's the reason, because of the reconstructions. That's probably going to be it. They are similarly slow, 55% into Hermes. Yeah, classical age into Athena right now, 5 minutes. That's not exactly what you want to play on a water map. And well, let's see the shenanigans on the water begin anew. So again, this is going to be a lot about special strategies and special maneuvering, especially if somebody can catch their opponents unaware in some 3 versus 2, that's going to be super useful. And we see that Superafim is having a restoration, whereas Leonardo Hermes and Kiryuda is also having Hermes. So they will probably not be fighting for the water all that much, which is also pretty curious at this point. But might be well worth it, because they have double Oranos and they know kinda beforehand with this matchup against them that it's not really going to go all that well, and they probably are just gonna try some fun, like the construction. Here you can see the construction on yellow and also on teal. So teal will be still forced to be just at 1 dock and basically more or less useless in the water battle 0. Here same can be said though about Ayach. And this is really going all the interesting ways. And right now, with having the extra restoration for BRTs, it could actually help them win the water. But will it be enough? Well, in the last game, we have seen that it really helped AOLs actually win the water, because Berserker had a proper ramp of it, and he really stormed over player without any problem. But so far, we see that the battles are kinda equal, and we see a lot of Ati battles going slightly better for them than for the Greek ones, which is interesting. And right now, finally, it seems like that Seattle, together with Leonardo, are breaking through and doing pretty good job in somehow containing Kiryuda and Ayach. At the top side, this is basically just a battle between Nine Racing Cat and Superafim. Superafim is crippled seriously at this point, and you can see it, but Nine Racing Cat having such a huge amount of boats, 13 boats against just 8. So let's see if this battle is something that Nine Racing Cat will fancy. I think it should, because the advantages numbers is really great, and especially with the extra reinforcements. Yep. Well, restoration into this. That's kinda weird, but he opted for it, and it bought him extra time to actually defend against 9 Racing Cat, but it definitely would have been slightly better used on 2 armies at once, for example here with Seattle and Leonardo, and maybe if he joined them, he could have healed just 3 armies altogether, and on this small pond it could have worked quite nicely. Well, that's not really happening anymore, so the restoration is out of the game, and this is going to develop into proper 3v3. Without any good powers making a difference here. So yellow is getting his boats killed without too much of a resistance, I would say. Seattle together with Leonardo are doing pretty well, and Kiryuda is the only one to actually stop them. But still the numbers are kinda equal, and it really depends who is going to win where. Right now, Superafim is slowly getting into the game, which is kinda curious, because a 9 Racing Cat is having a huge advantage in numbers, 18 boats against just 9. That's double. And yeah, Greek ships are not twice as strong. They are strong quite well, but not that well. And well, finally Seattle recognizing that Superafim does need the help, and yep, that's a cue for 9 Racing and to retreat from the battle. Having a look at the minimap, I don't see anything going for a second TC or any raiding whatsoever, so basically everybody is fully concentrated on the water, and it seems like that the Greek from BRT's Leonardo is doing pretty well against Kiryudai, who is nowhere to be seen. Okay, he was here top, and again, quite a lot of boats at very condensed room here at this point. Yellow engaging their opponent. Superafim seems to be slightly lagging, possibly with Seattle, but we don't really see it here. But players might know it in the command lag, but so far they're not complaining, so it seems to be okay. And I would actually say that in the water battle it might slightly help, because the boats have quite a lot of hit points, and if you can target them and actually kite easily, might maybe even help someone. But yeah, really, players don't like playing under lag, so let's just leave those speculations. Some other parts of the internet that nobody goes to. At this time, it seems like that the left side is winning, which is Latayach together with Kiliudai against Leonardo with 9 Racing Cat, because, oh no, 9 Racing Cat is also the third from Lats, and it seems like that actually 9 Racing Cat played it slightly better because he crippled Super Afim supremely, but Kiliudai wasn't as crippled through the deconstructions, I think, which is quite interesting, and it seems like that maybe Kirudai was better prepared for what was going to happen than Super Afim, and something I might have missed at the very beginning, but well, so far this is paying dividends, and we see that 9 Racing Cat and Super Afim are going for second TCs, same as Seattle on the minimap, and also Kirudai, so only blue and yellow are not going yet, but yellow is moving for it seems. Yep, right now capturing it, so only one not advancing, or actually capturing TC is right now Leonardo, which is an important part of the game because it means that Lats don't really need to win the water at this point because they are already having an economic advantage in having better economy. Right now there is some raiding going on from 9 Racing Cat. It was kind of hard to notice on the minimap, but I did just at the last moment before it disappeared, and it seems like that 9 Racing Cat is doing pretty good job in putting Seattle MC out of wood economy, which is most definitely going to slow his boat production. But at the same time, it seems like that Lats have already won the water. Just looking at the numbers of green, red and yellow, and not anything from anyone else, it seems like that BRTs have kinda given up and Lats are free to reign the waters as they can. So Kilodai going for a 30C himself, 9 Racing went for the back TC, and right now he is trying to occupy the front TC from Super Afim and trying to prevent him from potentially taking it, going for a 30C himself. Well, that's a heavy boom. Ayak for 30C as well, Leonardo going for the second, and yeah, this is super fast transition into land for Lats. They should be having some serious advantage, also thanks to the extra fishing boats on the small little pond that is very rich on them. Otherwise, not much going on here. It seems like that everybody is having some initial army to actually defend against raids or even raid. Yeah, 9 Racing Cat is right now returning home because he sees that the enemy has enough army to protect, yeah, especially Super Afim, and he can protect his ally in the pocket as well. And well, Seattle is right now switching to the left side, possibly hoping to defend Leonardo, who does have some army, but he will need some extra help because he is having just archers, and Turmas are the counter to that unit, so the battle might not be all that ideal. Right now, though, Seattle is just sending units to their deaths because he's not paying attention for some reason, probably because he was interested in building second and third TCs. But right now he has finally enough army that not even sending them in just the fixed spot is going to cost him, especially when Leonardo right now joins him. So it seems to be going for a proper 2v2 on the right side quite soon, because I think that Green will join him there. He already is. Yes, he's moving in. And on the left is going to be Super Afim fighting against 9 Racing Cat, and it's going to be Zeus against Kronos, which should be going for Zeus, but looking at the number of units at this point, well, Super Afim has to be super careful, because even though they are at even TCs at this point, that's not going to last all that long, because 9 Racing Cat is already at 3 almost. Yeah, both just now trying to clear everything up. Not much interesting happening on the water, but well, this is kind of curious. And we see a lag here, so it's not really all that great, at least for the players, I think. But well, we see all three players from the Lats having 3 TCs, while BRT is having just 2. But it seems like that at least Seattle as the pocket is going for a third, but Leonardo shouldn't really lag behind, because otherwise he might be in a risk of actually losing it to the double from Kiriudai together with Ayach. At the top side, it seems like 9 Racing Cat is camping outside his front TC and is damn close to the front TC of Super Afim, so he will be pretty much threatened of losing it. And yeah, pretty nice wall to actually prevent some shenanigans from his opponents and at the same time allow him to properly micro and tactic. How do you say whatever, use tactics. And let's check in the meantime, when there's not much happening, if somebody's advancing into some extra age. Seattle, no. Leonardo, either. Leonardo is like right now just massing army and going for some medium Epicon, so he's having pretty good army at this point together with his teammate Seattle, and it could be a pretty good idea to advance into some offensive. And if he can properly micro, he can kill Kiryuda's army without any problem because he's having hoplites with toxots, and he just needs to target the toxots with Epicons and his toxots into the hoplites, of course. Kiryudai though is spoiling the fun because he's advancing into heroic, and 65% for Ayak as well, so he's not far behind, and a bit of a raiding from Seattle here, but he is caught by Ayak, and yeah, the army difference is quite well in Ayak's favor. Green is already into heroic, yes, I've seen that a bit earlier, and 95% into Rhea for 9 Racing Cat, so he's going for it very fast, and also right now trying to steal the front EC for Superafim, exactly as we have expected, and it is going to be a huge problem, especially when Superafim isn't advancing yet, even though he does have armory. Still not having enough resources to advance, and he will be fighting an uphill battle. Right now he clicked in, if I saw correctly. Yeah, finally he clicked in, so he won't be really all that far behind, but still, the population limit is going to suck, and this army, he probably cannot take it on, because with proper micro 9 Racing Cat will just drag him with the catapulties. And this is just a diversive action, so that by some sheer luck Superafin doesn't discover the TC being stolen. At the bottom, it seems like that Leonardo is having this TC pretty much secured at this point because it's just I kill you die guarding the town center together with the palace, as Ayak is defending against the raiding from Seattle, which I think is a pretty good idea at this point, and I'm slightly curious why nobody is building walls. It's not like it's super difficult. You can find some ways to actually build walls, even though there are some boats, and it could help you defend quite a lot, especially against such raiding. BrT is still making a pretty strong attempt at his opponent right now with the Behemoth, and do we see bots? Quite a lot of them, come on, this is a bot opportunity right there. Even though you have Jason, this guy is just dealing such a huge amount of damage, and finally the bolt is here, and it should have come a lot sooner, but anyway, without the Behemoth, right now 9 Racing Cat doesn't have enough to push through, as right now his army is basically just Turmas. Another Behemoth coming in, but it's going to be slightly too late, and he needs to protect the Jason. Odysseus is up, and Manticore is going to help as well, because I think she has an extra attack against mythical units. Well, but the advantage in numbers is really going not all that well for Superafim, and those extra hero Turmas are just going to kill the Manticore without any problems. And Leonardo right now calling for a ceasefire because he was trying to build a third EC and he was under heavy attack from Kiryudai, and his own army wasn't anywhere near close. It was actually where? A bit of it here. He probably lost in this battle something, and he is having centaurs here in the middle trying to disrupt trade route, which is pretty good idea, and it seems like that Lats are so far not aware because they are not sending anything, not even building any heroes in some of the DCs. No, just a Hephaestus 90% for the green. And well, Leonardo is still in the classical age, and he might be thinking about advancing pretty soon because, oh yeah, finally he is, because he wouldn't be able to fight on par with his opponents for much longer. The Kronos is almost into Atlas, well, 60% left to go. Heroic Age here for Superafim, who is using this time to repair his TC, and those 3 Behemoths are actually a pretty bad threat, because they would be hard to take down, even with Hercules, with Odysseus, and possibly is there some Jason? No, I don't see Jason here. So that's late. We need all the heroes to get rid of those guys because they have absolutely huge attack and also good enough hit points so that they can survive a lot of hits from the heroes. And yeah, they are really a problem for a Greek without mythical units. So yeah, that's that. That should result in a dead DC if played properly. Oh well, at the last moment this is a pretty good traitor. That's going to help quite a lot, but traitor countered on that, so traitor continuing, and well, is this going to take down the TC? It's just good. One hit more, and one hit more, and he didn't, and well, that's damn close. And he's not even sending extra catapulties, and he was hoping for it 9 Racing Cat that the Behemoth will do the job, but he didn't. And well, he will have to finish with potentially the destroyers, but he is having tough luck at this point because he is slowly losing the battle just due to the sheer power of the TC fire. On the bottom side though, Leonardo has terribly lost, and you can see that he's been forced actually to retreat together with Seattle, as the mythical Zeus from Kyriudai is pretty strong, and this guy, Colossus, is a big problem, because right now Ayak is, or rather it was a green one, or purple one, stupid colors. Seattle has right now lost a pretty important building, because right now you won't be able to push out enough archive to defend against all those Myrmidons, and well, they are exactly the correct unit that they need at this point, as Leonardo is not in a good position to defend. Right now though, if he can hold on long enough, he is already advancing into Hephaestus. He could somehow turn this around. Let's have a look at some of the ages here. Kyriudai, Seattle, that will be Leonardo. Somebody else advancing as well, maybe Nyan. Not yet, he's fully engaged in the 40Cs, so he probably doesn't have enough resources yet. But he is investing in some upgrades here, having baseline, which is a pretty good fight, and this is pretty much equal between Super Afeman and Nine Racing Cat. But yeah, if he can't get rid of those destroyers, this TC is going down, and once that happens, that's going to be game over for him, because even though he's able to fight 2 versus 4 TCs quite successfully at this point, if it would be just one, yeah, that would be kinda a bit too hard. Otherwise, those red dots are pretty interesting by 9 Racing Cat, and he's already having some quite sneaky behemoths at the very back. That's basically just like Underworld Passage, and yeah, this TC is going to die from Seattle, who has right now upgraded some citizens into heroes, and he will be trying to take them down, but that's going to take super long, and that's not going to save the TC. Right now, a huge blob of yellow army right here, and he is switching onto the left side, because he is right now going to kill Super Afim as much as he can, and well, let's see if that can be helped. Well, right now this is a goodbye TC due to all the army here, and Super Afim is at a pretty bad spot, and Leonardo had to use this Underworld Passage, other Super Afim, to actually summon some help from his ally Leonardo from the other side of the map. At the same time, Leonardo himself could use some extra help, because he's under heavy attack from Kyriudai, who is having quite good champion Myrmidons with some decent lineup of upgrades. And yep, this is pretty much a game over, as Lat Ayach has built yet another settlement. Seattle has resigned, as the concentrated attack on the back TC, the front assault at the bottom on Leonardo, and the vortex on Super Affin to basically finish him was just too strong. And BRTs are eliminated, and Lats advance into the grand finals 3-1 and will face AOL. So that was quite interesting game from the very start, and yet again the team that has won the water on Sacred Pond is actually having enough of a ramp to make a difference in there, it seems. Well, good job, but the switch into the land was pretty brutal from Lats, I have to say. That was super fast and very well timed, and yeah, just BRTs couldn't respond to that well enough. GG, and let's look at the post game here. Kyriudai was playing pretty well, but he was the pocket and a Zeus. That kind of expected, but he did well. He did what he should have done, and it was the reason why they were able to push so convincingly at the very bottom, winning absolutely everything. And I bet he's going to be winning in improvements as well. Yeah, that's pretty sad. 138 military count and killing just 56. Yeah, there went something wrong in there. Maybe because he was raiding, so he lost a lot of units in there to TCs and whatnot, but well, still, that's that. And yeah, Kyriudai, best research count, of course, and best heroic age, mythic age. But with pretty late classical age, even with that, they were able to win. And they will double Eti, and Greek against double Greek and Eti. Interesting. Well played by Lats. A lot of resources for Kyriudai, just didn't need anything, and he was swimming in, literally swimming in all the resources here. Kyriudai, well, that's what happens when you are playing in a good team and you are in a pocket and also playing quite well yourself. GG then.